Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. I'm an artist based in Australia. In today's video I wanted to go through some of the basic drawing supplies. I apologize if this video is a bit overwhelming. I'm going to be going through a lot, but I have a friend who's just started out with drawing and she's feeling very overwhelmed, so I thought this might help her, and hopefully it might help one of you as well if you happen to be watching this video. Firstly, I'm going to go through graphite pencils here. So I've just done a little swatch sheet starting with a 9H through to a 9B. The H in graphite pencil stands for hard, so the hardness of the lead, and the B stands for black. So the higher the number in the H, the harder the lead and the lighter the colour. And with the B, the higher the number, the softer the lead, so the darker the colour. I've just popped them onto the grey paper here as well so you can see, and I'm just tilting in the light so that you can see that shine that you get with graphite. That can be a little bit of a con with a graphite pencil, is that the more graphite you add, the more shine there's going to be on the page, but this is a really cheap and versatile tool that you can use for drawing. You can also buy these in packs, so you can buy a few different grades of the leads. That's a really good way to start, but by all means you don't need to buy this many. If you started with, for example, with a HB and a 6B or a 2B and a 9B or something like that, that's a really good way to start. So we're going to talk through the few different varieties as well when it comes to graphite, the different options. So here we have your regular pencil, which you can just draw your nice lines with. You can tilt it to the side to blend it out a little bit more. There are also a few different brands. This is a Staedtler pencil. This is the 9B, so I'm just showing you this so you can see how easily that lays down compared to the first pencil, which I think was one of the H leads. This is a graphite stick, so you can lay down a lot more graphite. You can turn it on the side to get a lot more on the page and cover a larger area. And there are a few different brands of pencils. So we've got the Derwent, the Staedtler. These next ones are the Palomino Blackwing. I actually really like these pencils. These are really nice and smooth to draw with. I'm not entirely sure of the grade of lead that are in these, but these are really lovely to draw with. And they have a little eraser on the end. And mechanical pencils are fantastic as well, because they are just such a fine lead and it's mechanical. You don't ever need to sharpen these pencils. This is a really good pro here. You can get your nice lines. You can also tilt it to blend a little bit further, and you also have different grades of leads that you can buy for it as well. This is a 2B that I've used here, so nice and soft. And now we're moving on to water-soluble graphite. The Art Graph range make water-soluble. These ones here are Faber-Castell. I really like these because we can hit them with a wet brush once you've drawn on your page, and this way you can blend out a lot easier, and it's just a little bit more versatile than your regular graphite pencil. If you use these on, for example, watercolor paper, those lines almost entirely disappear. I haven't used watercolor paper here, so you can still see some of the lines, but as you can see, it activates really quickly with water and you can get a really nice blend. The next product we're going to look at here is the Art Graph. It's one of the sticks that they make. This product is also water soluble, just like the other one I showed you before. You can cover a larger area with it. You can still draw your nice straight lines and get your nice blending. I will be activating these with water in a little bit as well. And this is the Art Graph Putty. So this is like graphite in a putty form. This is moldable and you can cover massive areas with this one. So I'm just going to break off a little piece here and draw with it. So it is quite messy, as you can see my fingers there covered in it. But it cleans up super easy, so it's not really a problem. As you can see, you can cover a fairly evenly as well, but you can cover a really large area. That actually put down quite a lot of graphite. which I'm going to blend out with a brush. As I said, you can mold this as well, so you can draw finer lines with it. It's a really fun tool to use, and just another option if you're looking at getting into drawing. And the last little product I'm going to show you here is the Art Graph. I refer to it as a little disc. This is actually not graphite, it's carbon, so this will come out a lot blacker. This one here, it's a lot more firm than the last product. It's quite hard actually. So you can draw with it, you can turn it onto its sides and draw nice lines. You can turn it onto its sides like this and blend it out to cover larger areas. Or you can come to the product with a wet brush, pick some of that colour up and just paint directly onto your project. As you can see, that is a lot darker with the carbon base that it has compared to the graphite that we have over there on the left. So I'm just going to clean out my brush and actually blend out the rest here. You can see that these activate super quickly. You can get a really nice blend, and you can still draw nice fine lines as well if you were to mix this separately on another piece of paper and draw with it. As you can see, that putty put down so much graphite. It's I could have covered a much larger area with the amount that I put down, but I just wanted to show you how easy, how quick it was to cover a large area. That would be a really good base if you were starting, you wanted to establish a mid-tone on your page and you wanted to cover the entire thing with graphite first. That would be a really good way to do it. And that stick also blends out with the water there as well. I'm just going over the regular graphite that we drew with before, just so that you can see it doesn't move, or if it moves it's very minimal compared to the water soluble. Now, speaking of carbon, these pencils here are graphite and carbon hybrid pencil basically. So these have the blackness that you get with a carbon or charcoal pencil, but with the really nice smooth blendability that you have with a graphite pencil. So these come in a few different grades here as well. This is the 8B, I believe, so it's a little bit darker than the 2B. Goes on nice and smooth. I really like these because you can get your blacks really black. Same with the charcoal, and that's why I really like those pencils. So charcoal pencils usually come in a soft, medium and a hard lead. I'm going to draw these out with the hard lead, the medium and then the soft, so you can actually see how easy it is, especially when you get to that soft one, how I'm not applying any different pressure there at all. It just goes on so easily, which I again really like the blackness that you can get with it. This is a willow charcoal stick that we have here. This is super soft. It goes on really easily. I love using these for doing like life drawing. This is little Winsor & Newton willow sticks here. You can buy other brands, of course. And lastly, with the sticks we have the compressed charcoal, which will be a lot darker than that willow charcoal. That willow charcoal blends out to almost nothing, which you'll see when I go over the blending tools. You can get your nice lines with the compressed charcoal. Now, this is a white charcoal pencil. White charcoal actually isn't charcoal. It's calcium carbonate with a binder in the cedar wood casing, according to Generals, which is the brand of this pencil. I really like these for nice subtle highlights. You can get it to go over certain things. It's actually shown up a lot nicer here on the grey toned paper, even going over pen, which is those coloured ones at the bottom there, and the charcoal. The graphite, it didn't work at all on, so that's something to be mindful of as well. I also like a white gel pen for my nice white highlights. And this here is charcoal powder. So this is the last charcoal product I'll be showing you. This is powder in the container. You want to wear a mask if you're going to use this stuff. As you can see, it's quite dusty. I'm going to go in here with a wet brush to pick up some of that charcoal, and I can draw directly onto my page. You could use a dry compressed brush as well to blend these out. You could probably use your paper stubs, or or a cloth or something like that if you wanted to cover a nice large area. But as you can see, we get some darker lines with the wet brush, but I think it kind of dries the same, although you can get some interesting textures with the water. Another product that you can draw with is just your regular coloured pencils, although these are more for drawing. We have a red and blue in this Prismacolor one. Red is really fantastic if you're doing portrait work, because especially if it's illustration, it blends in really nicely with skin tones and that kind of thing. Blue is another product or pencil that we use to draw. I'm also showing you some Pacer leads here in the colours. So I've got a blue and a red. This one here is a 0.5mm lead. I do really love these ones, but I do find I'm a little bit heavy-handed with them, so I tend to break the leads pretty easily, and that's why I've also gone with this thicker option here. This is a much sturdier lead. It's got a little sharpener built into the end, so you can get that nice fine point. Oh, that's my graphite that came with the pen that I bought. I just popped it in to keep it safe with the reds. You can get a nice sharp point, and you can also turn it on the side to blend it out as well. And as I said, it's much sturdier, so I don't have to feel, that I'm being too hard on my leads. And now I'm going to move on to some other tools that we use with drawing. Sharpeners. I'm just showing you some blades here as well. These are X-Acto knives. I like this one because it's retractable. The original X-Acto blade I have here didn't come with a little cover that I could see, so I actually keep it in its packet, but it's a really nice sturdy knife. I use this to sharpen some pencils sometimes. If you're a child, obviously get an adult to do this for you, or if you're an adult that doesn't feel comfortable, then please don't go out of your comfort zone. Just use a regular sharpener. I just skipped that so you didn't have to watch me sharpening the entire thing there, but you can see you can still sharpen it to a really nice point. You can just sharpen the lead a little bit more as well. And I'm also going to show you that you can just obviously just use a regular sharpener. I really like this brass one that I got from Eckersley's, which is an art store here in Australia. I love this sharpener. It's really good. It came with little replacement blades. A lot of people complain about Prismacolor pencils breaking. I've had no breaks with this sharpener, and I've used it for quite some time as well, so that's been really fantastic. Another one I haven't had any problems with is this Derwent mechanical sharpener here with the winding arm there. I'm just showing you the little shavings it collects. It's got quite a large container in it, so you can sharpen for ages before you need to empty that. There's no actual blade in this one. It's I believe it's a helical blade. It's which is good. It doesn't mean it kind of gets blunt or anything. Sometimes the leads get stuck on the inside, but they're really easy to get out. That's the only con I've found with this one. But again, it's really no problem. This one here, you can pop your pencil in, and this little clips at the top there hold the pencil in place. So it keeps it nice and sturdy for you, and you just wind the arm around to sharpen the pencil. This sharpener actually comes with some clamps, so you can clamp it to a desk. I haven't done that myself yet, mainly because I kind of cart it back and forth with me, so I haven't found the need to do that. I do find for a brand new pencil, maybe 22 winds around, get your pencil nice and sharp. You can actually feel the pressure kind of slacken off once you get the pencil to where it needs to be, and you don't need to sharpen any further than that. Now we're going to go into some blending tools here. This is a paper stub. You may have seen these in some of the packs that you can buy if you've ever bought a drawing pack. Graphite or charcoal tends to collect a little bit on it, but that's okay. So this is in place of your finger to blend out your pencils, your pastels, whatever you're using. And it kind of collects on the end there, so you can actually just draw straight with that as well. This is a little sanding block which you can use to clean. There's quite a few sheets on there. It's stapled on the front, so you can just remove it. just on a little board, and you just rub it back and forth to remove the graphite if you wanted to start afresh. For example, if you were changing colors or that kind of thing, and you wanted a nice clean pencil stub, you don't need to go and get a new one. You can just clean this one up. The other reason why you wouldn't want to use your finger for blending is that sometimes the oils in your skin can mix with the product on the paper, and it kind of bonds it to the page and makes it really hard to erase. So that's why we want to use some of these tools instead. Now this one here is a blending chamois. This one's actually been through the washing machine and my dryer. It did stain a bit, but it's still fine. It's fine to use. I'm just going to blend out some of these ones here. You can see that willow charcoal almost disappeared, and the compressed charcoal's quite dark. It collects on the cloth, and you can go in and draw straight with that as well if you wanted to do something really smooth, some kind of smooth gradient where you wanted to start out very light and build your way up. So as I said, that one's machine washable as well, which is really nice. And now erasers. I wanted to talk about a few different options that are available. So that's a gum eraser. We've got a couple of plastic erasers here. I really like that Tombow Mono one. This Faber-Castell one's really nice as well. And a kneaded eraser, which to me kind of feels a bit like blue tack. This is moldable, so you can erase finer areas. You can get into tighter corners if you need to, or you can kind of ball up the kneaded eraser and roll it over your drawing. I really love doing this for if I've done a sketch that I want to watercolor or color in any way, and I just want to remove so the lines aren't too dark, I kind of roll that over my drawing just to pick up that excess charcoal or graphite, whatever I've been drawing with. The art gum eraser or the gum eraser erases nicely, but it's quite messy. It kind of collects those little pieces, whereas the plastic erasers, they collect themselves into like little strips, so they're much easier to kind of pick up and put in the bin. You would want to just either blow away those shavings or dust them away with a brush. You wouldn't want to use your hand, because otherwise you might smudge the work that you've been doing. Another product I didn't talk about before was ballpoint pens, which are a really easy, versatile tool to use as well, and very accessible. You probably have some floating around your house. You can get some softer lines or bolder lines with these as well. I find I'm a little bit more considerate about my lines when I'm drawing with these as well, so I kind of like to challenge myself and use these. They also come in a few different colors as well. So I'm just showing you on the little swatch sheet here how they show up on the toned and the white paper. And as you can see, the white charcoal's gone over those, no problem at all on the grey tone there. And you can go over these with watercolor. It's not going to remove your lines. And with the pacer leads I spoke about earlier, it comes in obviously a regular graphite, but we also have some coloured leads other than the red and blue that are available. I think I got some of these from Officeworks, and the leads I actually got from eBay. If you didn't want to use red or graphite or the blue, those are another great tool. Another product that might come in a drawing kit is pastel sticks as well, which is just another tool that you can use for drawing. I really like these ones from Generals here. They are all kind of skin toned. They're quite a hard stick to use, but they go on really nicely, and this would be perfect if you were doing life drawing, if you're doing figure studies, because they're already the different skin tone kind of colors there, and they show up really nicely on either the white or the grey tone paper. The reason I've done the colors on both of these papers here is because I love swatching. I think it's the best thing that you can do, and I just think it's perfect. Gives you an idea of what your products are going to do on the page. So I'm just going to clean up my workstation here, and I'm actually going to run through a few sketches that I've done just using these products. I just want to say you don't need to buy every product under the sun to make something nice or to learn. I just used graphite and charcoal for this piece. I've used the charcoal to get the real black lines and the graphite to get the nice smooth blending in the background there. So that's just a couple of pencils and some blending tools. This one on the left obviously is a lot darker, a lot more bold. There's a lot more charcoal for that one. Okay. Sorry, my camera cut out for a second there. I just want to show you some of the different papers as well, which these kinds of things can affect what you're drawing as well. This is just some Canson drawing paper. This is a slightly textured. It's really nice to draw on. I actually love pastels on this one. And this is a toned grey Strathmore sketchbook, which is really great because you already have the grey here to establish your midtones. As I said, toned grey. This also comes in a tan colour as well. It establishes your midtones for you, so you can go in and do your highlights straight away. You can do your black, your dark, your shadows, that kind of thing straight away as well. So it's really great if you wanted to start in that direction. This one here I've actually used mostly white charcoal. Those little dots are actually little, I used a white gel pen for that. And the charcoal for the eyes. This one's actually ink, which I did for Inktober, and same with this one is here, and I've actually added some Fine Tech mica gold watercolor here around the edges, and the pink or the purpley color and the red in the flowers of the hair. That was watercolor, it warped a little bit, but this paper holds up pretty well to a light wash, so I really enjoy using that one. Anyway, I hope this video has been informative or helpful to you. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'm happy to answer. I hope this wasn't too overwhelming. And thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.